All right, we're live. Tapping Birdie, Sony Open, joined by Kenny Kim. It's been too. I don't know why you haven't been on before. My apologies for that. But when we were doing the fantasy draft, you kept picking the golfers I wanted, and I was like, "Yo, this guy knows ball. Like this guy knows ball. Like I gotta get him on the pod." So I apologize that it took this long, but I'm glad to be joined by you tonight, Ken.
No, I'm happy to be on the show, man. Beginning of the golf season, I mean, shit, anybody asked me to be on the pod, I'll be on it. But I was looking forward to being on the show with you because I'm a fan of your work. You're hilarious on Twitter. So I'm glad to be on.
Yeah, no, it's all good. I like to have some new guests from time to time. I've had Tambo on, your co-host who you pod with every week. So do you kind of do you like having the same person to pod with every week? Like, because I have a bunch of different guests. It's different every week. Like, do you and Tambo just have kind of, I mean, I watched the show. You guys have a great rhythm together. Like, do you like just the same guy every single week? It's good.
Yes, I do. I mean, when it comes down to pods and stuff like that, you sort of, like you said, you find a rhythm with a person. For the first, couple of months, I started this pod in 2015. The Fantasy Golf Degenerates podcast in 2015, right when Golf DFS started. And so I had Zach Woods. He's the guy who asked me to be on the pod. And then we had Brad Messersmith, and Zach sort of dropped out after about 3 months. So it was me and Brad. And Brad was a great co-host. The yin and the yang worked out really, really well. Again, he's a great GPP player. I'm a good cash player. So that sort of dynamic works well in podcasts, I think. I mean, we do fairly well. We've been on for 8 seasons. We've worked for Roto Grinders. We've worked for, the Mayo Media Network. So we've had some good bosses around, and the money's great and good enough for what we do, an hour a week. So yeah, I don't see myself stopping anytime soon. And for Tambo, it actually works perfectly because I mean he's so good at what he does that I'm just there as a filler. Basically, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I put my info in and do what I do, and my cash game cornerstones and cash games are my strength. But everyone wants to win a GPP, so I mean, Tambo's the guy. Tambo's the man.
Yeah, no, Tambo's great, and it's not just golf that he's good at.
He's good at everything.
Really everything. And I'm just like, dude, what do you like? Because for a guy just we play DFS, whatever. Any of those hits, I'm quitting my job. I'm not I'm changing my life. He did, but
he did.
But he does this full time. But it's if I hit a GPP for 100K, I'm just quitting my job. I'm just we're just gonna do that for the next 2 years.
Yeah,
so.
Well, I mean, the thing is,
no problem.
I've won 3 GPPs, classic slate. But they were all smaller ones. I have a strict budget when I play DFS. It's funny because the rest of my life, I don't really necessarily worry about consequences and go balls to the wall. But when it comes to betting, I can control myself. It's strange. It's strange.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So you were on Mayo's Sunday night show. You were great on it. I thought you were really funny. You brought some great info too. You were bringing up stats about Cowboys interceptions and everything, and you guys were all kind of in your own separate moods based on things that have happened that day. So I know it's still kind of fresh what happened on Sunday, but I unfortunately found out that you were in the Morikawa outright better at the Tournament of Champions, which I think will be a designation going forward. If the doctor asks if you have any ailments, it's I bet Morikawa at TOC. So I'm a little, but yeah, that was horrible. That was truly the most count your money situation, outright betting, and he didn't win.
I mean, if I was smart, I should have hedged and bet Rom when he was 60-1. And just put $20 on it, and I would have won my, and then I probably would have won the money back anyways for a $20 bet. But I wasn't thinking that at that point in time when Morikawa was up 7 strokes. And so, yeah, that hurt bad because I lost around over $1,500 on that bet because I usually bet anywhere between my betting bankroll is around max $200. And then, I'll usually from 100 to 200 is where I bet each week. And so, I play to win $1,000. Like for me, a unit's $100.
Yeah.
And so, I'm trying to win 10 units, off the 2 that I spend on my bets. And usually it's not 2. Usually it's like 1.25 around there. But, it was the first event of the year, and I bet a couple of favorites, and they wouldn't let me cash out Xander when I heard about his injury on DraftKings. I just decided to leave it to see who was going to play. I was like, maybe we'll have a miracle. So that was a little bit of a waste of money right there. But also in DFS, I had Rahm and Morikawa as 2 of my cash game cornerstones. I also had Finau. So I do these things called cash game cornerstones where I pick my 4 favorite plays in cash. And then if you use those guys in your lineup for like double ups, head-to-heads, 50-50s, I use those. I have all those. I just lost my train of thought there for a second. Give me 1 second. It's been a long day at work, and that Morikawa thing is still bothering me. But yeah. So I just totally forgot what we were talking about. Sorry. I will admit I smoked a little dude before I got.
That's dope. That's dope.
Because work was rough today, and I needed a little relaxation before this pod, so I might forget stuff like right after I say it, because that's usually what happens when I'm stoned. But yeah, so give me a refresh on what we're talking about.
Just Morikawa, your experience on Sunday.
Yeah, okay, there we go. Cash.
So
cash games. So cash games. I do this thing called cash game cornerstones. I pick 4 golfers each week, and then to put in your lineups in cash, and then I leave 2 spots open, and I leave around $14,500 to $15,000 left to fill out the rest of the last 2 spots. And so I had Morikawa, Rahm, Finau, and I think Svensson. Svensson shit the bed.
Yeah.
I needed a punt play. So that's who I went with. I should have went with Spawn, who was my favorite GPP play down there. But of course, it did not do that. And then so what happened was, because Morikawa was 13% owned in most double ups and Rahm was 65% owned in double ups, I was in the cash pretty easy when Morikawa was winning.
Yeah.
Once he moved to second place, that's right, because
You
everybody else had Rahm. Everybody jumped in front of me, even though I still had Rahm. People still jumped in front of me because of how many people owned Rahm.
Yeah.
And so I ended up, and I had like $250 in cash games last week. So total, it should have been $1,500 that I lost on the Morikawa bet, and I was not happy about it.
Yeah, no, it was really crazy to see, because I watched a lot of the golf tournament. Like I just love watching primetime golf. I wasn't doing anything. And obviously when the leaders are playing, all they show is the leaders. And Morikawa like legitimately drained so many 15-footers all week for birdie. Like everything, like just straight center of the cup. Like it wasn't like he was just putting everything to 3 feet and like had a bunch of tap-ins. Like he just kept making every single putt he looked at. I don't think he really had that many like 6-footers for par, but he made all of those Thursday through the front 9 of Sunday. And it was truly like just this is over. Like this is not going to be a close tournament. Like it was just seemed like it was over. And the odds reflected that. The scoreboard reflected that. Colin Morikawa, 2-time major champion, 4-time PGA Tour winner, reflected that. It was like, yo, this guy's just dialed in completely. And then, obviously with the plantation course, people are going to go low. And Rahm was definitely the man to do it. And when he made that birdie and he was like up by, it was like 3 strokes at that time. It was like, we always said, it's like, oh, well, if he makes eagle and Colin makes bogey, and then, but it's like, that's not going to happen.
It never happens, right?
Like, it was just like, if you had to like think in your mind, like, well, if this, and this happens, like Morikawa could blow it, but you wouldn't actually think that would happen. It just happened, like just straight up. And the thing that was so crazy about it is that, obviously comebacks on tougher courses like we saw at the PGA Championship are a lot, easier, because the leaders a lot of the time, they don't have 6 birdie holes in front of them. So no one's really moving back, like Henley at Mayakoba. Like there's been a lot of instances where like it's in Birdie Fest, it's harder to mount that comeback, because if these guys aren't completely shutting down their leg, you're going to make more birdies, and it's going to be harder and harder to catch. And then you just thin a bunker shot, and then you look at the leaderboard, and Rahm, pipes a drive 355, has like an 8-iron in, puts it 10 feet, makes a putt. It's like, wow, things just change really, really quickly.
Do you worry about Morikawa at all? I asked this question to Tambo. I saw some stat that I don't know whether it's the last 4 times he had the 54-hole lead or every time he's had the 54-hole lead, but the 4 times he's had the 54-hole lead, and he hasn't won. And 2 of them he was up by 6, and another one he was up by 5.
Yeah. So
any worries about that?
Like the Hero World Challenge, like I vividly remember that Saturday night he was up by 5 strokes, and if he won, he was going to be the number 1 player in the world. And it was like, and he just won the Open a couple months before, and it was still when like Colin was like, "Yo, this guy is like could be like something extremely special on the PGA Tour." He obviously is, but it felt like that night it was like we're going to like announce he was going to be like he's going to be the number 1 player in the world, like he's going to have the year, like, and then he just kind of like duck hooks a 3-wood into the wood at the Hero World Challenge, and like he doesn't even come close to winning that tournament. But it's all right. It's an exhibition. It's it's not a real event. Whatever, brush it off. And then he goes the entire year without winning. And I kind of pointed this out. Like, it wasn't a year of not winning. He contended at like 1 event during that season. Like I would say at the Genesis was like the only time he was truly in contention on Sunday, like at the back 9 of a golf tournament. And when you kind of contrast that with the year he had the year prior, where he won 2 major championships and 2 other very like highly like high events, it's just like what kind of happened to this guy? And then this event, it just looks like he's just going to be the number 1 player in the world again, and he just falters down the stretch, and it's really concerning. Like I
think so too.
Like and this kind of goes into what we'll talk about with Tom, and we see it with a lot of golfers, is that when you're young and you're inexperienced and you're just going out there trying to go as low as possible, and you don't have all these memories of past event, you win a lot more. Like this is a guy who won 2 majors in his first 2 tries at that specific major. And you would think that with more experience, you're better at closing.
Because those scars are they're not scars. They're still open, right?
Yeah.
After doing something like that, after you get past your first couple of years and you're winning like Tom, like Morikawa did. And then it sort of makes you in your mind feel like, well, I should be winning all the time.
Yeah.
If I'm winning like this, why can't I do it now? And it sort of gets in your mind because, of course, everybody knows everybody who plays golf or even watches golf knows. I mean, mentally, I think it's the most challenging sport that you can play because you're fighting against your inner demons. And sometimes those are more dangerous than, a 285-pound linebacker coming to try and kill you across the middle. Those inner demons can really affect your play. And he's on that trajectory where we're going to be worried about him on Sundays with the lead every time he has it from now on. If we're worried, his ass is worried. And that could become worrisome. He needs a win soon.
Yeah, like I'm not going to like psychoanalyze Colin Morikawa, but when you're early in your career and you go out and you beat Justin Thomas in a playoff at the Workday Championship, you make clutch putts in the end, you go to your home state, one of your closest courses, you make an eagle to basically win a major, and then you go and you win a WGC, and you go and win the Open, and you don't miss. Like, I remember watching that Sunday at the Open Championship, Colin Morikawa, like, he looked like a robot. Like, he didn't miss a shot. He made every putt. He got everything up and down. But all he had in his head was, I just win. Like, I just win all these tournaments. And now he has some doubt maybe in his head about that. So when he thinks about his wins, he's going to be thinking about TOC, not, Workday Championship against JT.
This is not the best comparison, but you look at Tony Finau. He won that Puerto Rico event in 2016 as a youngster, 24, 25 years old. I know it wasn't like a big time event, but he got that W. And then, he just had that string of missed opportunities, and that string of missed opportunities lasted 3, 4, 5 years,
Yeah.
before his next victory. And so if Colin doesn't figure out the stuff in his head on Sunday soon, and I know he's one of the most talented golfers in the world, but again, the mental aspect of the game is so important.
Yeah.
I'm worried. I'm worried about him. I think he needs to win soon. Every time on Sundays, I'm going to be worried about him. He's going to stay out of my showdown lineups on Sundays if he's in contention, at least for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, it will be interesting to monitor. And I think the positive part is that he just putted so goddamn well all week.
Yeah.
And that is always the thing.
It was funny. It was funny because the holes he struggled on, I mean, he had that bunker, Ethan, but he flew the green with a wedge, from like 120 yards. I mean, that's sort of his bread and butter. Yeah. That's why I think more it's sort of a mental thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you fly the green from 120 out when you're Colin Morikawa, the best iron player in the world? The only way that happens is if you're foggy in the head.
Yeah. Yeah, so it will be interesting to see. But again, look, it was like truly like I watch golf every single Sunday. We watch golf every single Sunday. Like, it was the most like count your money situation. And on the front nine of that tournament, it was the most, this is over. Like, Colin won this event. I'm counting my money. People were celebrating it.
He was minus 20,000.
Yeah, it was. And like, again, we've seen, collapses. But like Mito at the PGA, like, he was never those odds. Like Henley at Sony and Wyndham, he was never those odds. Like, it was truly a colossal meltdown. And I know you didn't, but I think I'm kind of team hedge. Like, if you have an outright and you have it set to win a couple grand, and there is someone you can wager on, it's them or someone else, and you have odds on, like, in my opinion, you should throw a little bit on that. You should throw enough on it that you break even for the week, because nothing.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing worse than thinking you're going to be up X amount of money and then actually be down money for the week. Like, in my opinion, if it's a 2v, if it's a 1v1, you throw a little bit the other way. So, things seem a little bit better on Monday if they lose.
Yeah. I mean, I went from like 1,300, 1,400 up, taking away all my buy-ins, to like minus 400. Yeah. I lost like $400. It was, and looking back, I mean, when Rahm was like 60-1 and like on 12, right? And Morikawa was, minus 20,000. All I needed to do was put $20 on Rahm, and I made my money back.
I don't even think you could have like hedged in that. Like, I don't think that was the time to hedge. I think when like Rahm made that eagle, like, whatever. Just, and again, it would be more. You would obviously.
Well, then if I had to make all the money back, okay, I guess if it was a gambling thing, just to break even for the week, I would have probably, it would have been even money at that point in time, or like
throw like 200, somewhere around 300.
I would have been. Yeah, I would have had to throw 200 on it. But again, I'm very strict with my budget.
Yeah.
So I do hedge sometimes, but that's normally if I have money left in the 200 that I'm going to spend for gambling on golf for the week. And so if I don't have that money to spend, I'm not going to hedge. And so it was the first week of golf in 5-6 weeks, and so I went to the full 200 almost for my bets, because I betted Xander at 11-1, and I bet Morikawa at 18-1. I bet Harmon at 40-1. Those are my three bets. I had to bet $190 to win $1,000 for each of those guys. You know what I'm saying? And so I was like right around that edge. And so that's what I would have had to bet to break even. But at that point in time, I'm not even thinking about it,
Yeah. No, I would have like spent the money 100%. Not even a question. Another thing I kind of wanted to bring up, that again, I like hate being like this guy, and it's really like not that big a deal, but like, and like some people like betting Rahm like 7-1 with like three other guys. It's like, I just don't like get that. Like, are you even making money if Rahm wins?
Oh, if they're betting like four other guys with
they're betting Rahm at like 8-1, and then betting like like Xander and like can't like I just don't get that. And like
I mean, if you're gonna bet the favorite and bet like
it has to be single bullet. If you're betting someone 7-8 to 1, that's your only bet for the week.
I mean, like there's certain events where you have like one stud. You know, I mean, maybe not so much this year with the designated events, but in the past where you got like one guy who's like leaps and bounds better, who's like it's 7 to 1, like you say. I mean, I don't mind betting him, and then and everybody else in the field sort of similar, So and then betting like a couple of guys in triple digit odds.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that I can understand. But I mean, you just have to. I want to win at least 5 to 1 on my bets.
Yeah.
Total when I put in all of my bets. Okay. So I put in all my bets. It's $190 this past week. If Colin won, I would have won $1,000 and whatever, $55 that would have cost my buy-in to get him to 1,000. Okay. Yeah. And so I spent $190 for that. I still make my 5 to 1. That's what I'm going for in that type of betting situation.
Yeah. But like some people like you look at their cards and it's just like what you're like literally it's like 2 to 1 like if you hit Rahm. So
yeah, well
it's not like there's some like season long who can win the most like it doesn't matter. It's like and like a lot of people like don't take golf outright betting like as seriously as other people. Like a lot of people do it, so it's like this could be like a massive investment for me and I could actually make a lot of money and I want it to be 6, 7, 8x if I do hit, because then you don't have to hit as many weeks you don't have to hit as many weeks. So if you're overall it's 8 to 1, you have to hit one every week. Like that's a lot more doable than if it's like 3 to 1. So that's just, and then like people like celebrating, like it was fine. It's all good.
If you win, I don't care how many bets you've made. If you win a bet, you can celebrate. I got no fucking problem with that.
All right, that's fine. I feel bad for my boy Jers who bet Rahm single bullet, and like he like actually like bet it the right way and he won, but then like a bunch of other people bet Rahm with like a bunch of other people. It doesn't matter.
Who cares what if I'm sure he's fine. He won. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's taking it that badly.
Yeah, no, we'll see. We'll check in with him later. He'll be on for the Honda, so we'll see if he's recouped from hitting Rahm 7 to 1
and being angry about it. I don't think he's that angry about it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be either. There's nothing that quite cures things.
Did you set your team?
What?
Did you set your team?
I have 5 golfers and I'm not dropping somebody. So we're just gonna take that. And I'm going up against like
somebody. Don't you have a live guy on your team? Just drop him.
No, I dropped Neiman for Sam Ryder, but like, do you have 6?
Yeah, I have 7.
You have 7.
Yeah, wow. Guys playing this week.
Yeah, no. But I'm going up against like Tom Kim and Harman.
That probably tells you how much my team sucks. But
no,
I have 7 guys playing the Sony Open.
Yeah, no, it's tough. I like season love golf. I'm excited for it. Like
I've never really done it.
No, I've never done it either. I think we have 10. I think 10's too many. I think you gotta have like 8 people in the league because it's just like there's just too many guys out there, but it's fine. I'm looking forward to it. Like majors.
Well, I mean, the more people you have, the more fun you get. Those like diamonds in the rough,
Yeah, but like I just don't want to drop people I drafted. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but like I don't know. Is someone gonna
play?
But like, is someone gonna pick up like Lee Hodges if I drop him this week?
Probably not.
I don't know, but like I don't want to
gonna pick up Lee Hodges if you drop him,
dude. Lee, okay. It's fine. It's all good. Lee Hodges is, one of the best golfers on tour, but it's all good. Let's talk Sony Open. Let's get into this event. I think that whenever we get to a Sony Open, a Wyndham Championship, a Heritage, a Mayakoba, like everyone very much so like has the same idea of golfers to bet. And, I think that the winners and the course history and the corollary courses, like it's too much to dismiss on these events because it's not even like your webs and stuff. It's like people that like I was looking before. I don't have the guy who won this event in like 2011, like some random guy that has 3 PGA Tour win. Guess where his other PGA Tour win was? Mayakoba. Like it's so much so like the same accuracy, good wedge to middle line players, can go low, good Bermuda putters. Like they always seem to show up here. So I think very much so, like on these weeks, especially Sony week, like people know what to look for. People bet the same type of guys.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it makes it a lot easier to handicap and pick the guys you like.
Well, I mean, if you look at the Sony Open and Wildlife Country Club, I think it's second behind Augusta on tour in course form affecting a person's play. Like if you played well at that course at Augusta, normally you're going to play well every year. If you play well at Sony, normally you're going to play well every year. And we still see those same type of Webb Simpson, Stuart Sinks, Russell Henley type golfers that succeed. Matt Kuchar's. This is an old man's golf course. There's only been 4 golfers in their 20s that have won this event since 2000. Hideki was the last year. Hideki was 1, but he was like 29 and 11 months. But he was still in his 20s. I think something like, so it's like 14 golfers in their 30s, or like 15 golfers in their 30s, and like 3 or 4 golfers in their 40s have won this event. Like more golfers in their 40s, like almost as many golfers in their 40s have won this event than in their 20s since 2000. So, I mean, like anybody can win this event. And you see those type of plotters do well here.
Like looking at the winners, like it's truly like everyone has the same skill set. Like there is not one bomber on this list. Hideki Matsuyama, Kevin Na, Cameron Smith, Matt Kuchar, Patton Kizzire, Justin Thomas, Fabian Gomez, Jimmy Walker, Russell Henley, Johnson Wagner, Mark Wilson. Like Johnson Wagner was the person I'm talking about. He has 3 PGA Tour wins, and he's won at Mayakoba and Sony. Like it's not just like Russell Henley.
I went to school with him. I went to school with John. Yeah, he went to Virginia Tech.
You know him.
I don't know him, but I went to school at the same time as him.
You did. What were his odds that week? Did you hammer a 50-1 or?
No. I mean, I'm not gonna bet on a guy just because I know him. He's got to be fucking good.
Yeah.
Sorry, Johnson, if you're listening.
Were you betting on golf in 2011?
No. I started DFS in 2015. I started betting in 2017.
Okay. All right. So yeah, let's get into the Sony Open. Look, I think that people know who to kind of play, and that's reflected into like the most like tip golfers this week. They're literally all like short plotters. But like as soon as you kind of have the realization it's Sony Open week and we're watching golf on Thursday, it's like, okay, like is Tom Kim going to play? Because from a mile away, he jumps off the screen and he slaps you in the face and says, this is an absolutely perfect course fit and perfect course for me. And I was very happy to see that he was playing in this event. And then from the time I knew he was playing, I was trying to figure out what odds he would be at, because last 2 times he's won, he's been at very, very favorable, swallowable odds. Like he's been at very favorable odds. So I was like, okay, maybe the books, they don't really rate him as highly. I literally set an alarm early to like be up to see what his odds were, because maybe someone's slipping. Nope, 12-1 everywhere. You can't even get a 12-1 on any legal book on Tom Kim right now. He is 11-1 everywhere, which is absolutely ridiculous, but he deserves it 1000%. He absolutely deserves to be 12-1 this week.
On Saturday when they released the field for the Sony Open, I predicted Tom would be 12-1.
Yeah, I was like, and I was kind of like, like maybe not. Like, let's just hope for a 14, hope for a 16, like whatever. No, like I had to like struggle to find a 12. Like I was like running around, like trying to find a 12. I got the 12. Threw a lot of money on it. Got 300 on that, and then I got 50 on a parlay with Georgia money line, Buffalo money line, and Niners money line. That gets him up to like 19-1.
There you go.
I was like debating, like, do I just go all full parlay? Like, do I put my full investment into Tom in a parlay? I was like, I can't do that. Like, I can't do that. Like, it was just too much added threat. So I hammered the 12-1. I'm totally fine with it. But genuinely, like, it is an absolutely perfect course for Tom Kim. You can't dominate it with length. 280 off the tee is perfectly fine. He's one of the best middle to wedge players in this field. Both his wins are on like short positional golf courses on Bermuda where you have to go extremely low. And like we talked about with Colin, and you see a lot of guys young in their career, all they do is win. I don't think Tom can keep this up his whole career, but when you're young, dumb, and naive, and all you know is that you can win and dominate, he's going to do it. So it's a really tough number to swallow, but I don't care. I'm betting the 12-1, and it's a big investment, but I genuinely think he has the best chance to win. And all he's shown to us is that he contends and plays well. And it doesn't even matter. The course last week finishes T5 on a 7,600-yard course with the 39 players in the field. No one was better from tee to green than Tom Kim. That averages 290 off the tee. There's just something special about the kid. You play him at the right courses. It's a no-brainer this week for me at 12.
Yeah, I bet him. I bet him at 12-1. There's no doubt about that in my mind. I mean, I liked what I heard last week, where he says he wants to come back to Hawaii so he can bring his family. He's not seeing the sights. He's not doing the vacation thing because he has no one to share it with. He's there by himself. His family's not there with him. And so he said his main focus is golf. I mean, when you hear something like that from a guy, because, you think about these two events, for some, it's a little mini vacation, I guess, especially last week. And so now, what his mind frame is. He's not all about, seeing everything in Hawaii, doing the vacation thing. He's focused on golf. Like you said, you ran down all the numbers, all the stats, everything points to him. He is, I bet him at 12-1. So for me, I mean, that's about 80%, 85%. No, I'm sorry, 45% of my total bet.
Unit allocation.
Yeah, well, yeah, total. I'm going to bet. So I bet like 0.8 units on him. I only have 1.2 tops, and I ended up going all the way to the max again because I'm tilted over Colin.
Yeah, we're gonna make it back this week with Tom. Like I really am extremely confident that he's gonna get it done this week. Like I don't think he'll be able to keep it up his whole career, but when you get him on a short positional Bermuda course, like you just play him, and the number sucks, but whatever. And honestly, like I don't know who has a better chance to win, like him or Sungjae or Spieth, who are like actually comparable in odds. Like I don't know, like Sungjae M, he's extremely, extremely talented, and he has the same amount of wins as Tom. Like Sungjae is, I think we're both in agreement that he's an immense talent, and he should, contend in majors, and he should have more PGA Tour wins. And it's like, why does he only have 2 wins? Like you see him at the President's Cup, you see him at the Tour.
First off, he's 23. He's got time,
but he's been playing. No, but I'm saying like the amount of time he's played on tour versus compared to Tom. It's like, wow.
Well, he got that W last year, right? I mean, he got a win. He got his second win, so maybe that'll propel him to the next level. I like Sungjae too. I didn't bet him. I used him more as a safety play. He's one of my cash game cornerstones in DraftKings. So I'll be using him in cash. The worry I have about him is, of course, his wedge play hasn't been the greatest here recently. I think he's somewhere like 100th in the field in the last 50 rounds from 125 to 150. And that's where I think last year, like 60% of approaches came from that range. Or something like that, like a lot of wedges.
Yeah, it's a lot from like 125 to 200. Like it's like a 7-8 iron.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a lot of wedges too. I think he's going to be hitting at least 6 of those around. So it's a little bit worrisome, but his putting usually makes up for it. So that's why I had him safety. But I'm not gonna put a bet on him. I think Tom has a better chance of winning.
I agree, and at the same number, basically, like I'll take Tom. There a very popular selection this week. I know you're on. The dude's been playing really, really great golf, and he's been playing even last week. Played well when you kind of really wouldn't expect him to. But Brian Harman, again, another guy that when you get to these shorter positional courses, you want to play Brian Harman. And then I think a lot of people are looking to his swing season results, where he finished runner-up at Mayakoba, which is an amazing comp, and then he finished second at RSM, and
which is a comp too.
Yeah, which is another short course. Mm-hmm. But my worry about Harman is like, he has not won since 2017. Like he is not someone that is known to cross the finish line. and it's just kind of tough to get on someone like that for me, at
Yeah.
least. Given,
Well, I mean, there's been, Henley was the same way, and he ended up
Yeah.
winning last year. I mean, if you think about it, Harris English was the same before he pulled out those 3 wins. He had to win in the early 2010s, didn't win again till the late 2010s. I mean, you have Webb, who, he won the U.S. Open, took 4 or 5 years for him to get back on track again. So, 4 or 5 years for golfers of his ilk, I don't think is that big of a deal. I think he can win just because of the way he has been playing. I mean, like you said, the tee to green, he's been really, really strong.
Yeah.
There's 12 par 4s on this course. He's one of the best par 4 scorers in this field. I mean, there's so many things going for him. I bet him at 25-1, and when I pressed accept, it said odds changed on DraftKings, which of course always pisses me off because I feel like that happens to me all the fucking time. When I press the button, they're like, "Oh no, the odds changed." Sorry, so I got him at 22-1. I feel strongly that he'll be fine. He was so I have Tom and Harmon as 2 of my cash game cornerstones. That's how strongly I feel about him. I want to play him in DFS, and I want to bet him.
Yeah, no, I think it's a good play. Like, I think again, and like Keegan won, like, similar kind of situation. Like when you get a guy at a really good course fit playing well, like you just kind of take him. I just have a little bit of concerns with his just ability to win golf tournaments, but maybe he comes through. Honestly, Henley, like at 22, you can get it right now. Like these numbers are shifting all week. Like I can't bet it just because I bet Tom and like I just don't really have enough room on my card. But like I really don't think you can really go wrong with Russell Henley. I really like him in one and done. I'm in Mayo's. I got 5 entries. Like it's a decent investment for me. Like I'm using Henley in every single entry because I don't know where else I would really use him. Where I would like to use Tom somewhere else. I would use Sanjay somewhere else. I would maybe use Jordan someplace else. Like in my opinion, Henley is the safest bet on the board. Like top 10, top 20, cash game. Like Henley will be there. Like he just does it on these courses every single time. He has a little bit of confidence coming off a win at Mayakoba. He is playing this event for really one of the few times that he's actually played the week before at Kapalua. The guy should have won last year, not playing the week before. Like Henley, no surprise. I think Henley's a great play, and I can't bet it, but I think I don't know if he's that loser anymore. Like I think that we could maybe see a shift, like a Jason Kokrak type from a couple of years ago.
I was thinking about either Henley or Connors after going Tom Kim and Harmon for my bets, and I ended up going Connors just because I a little bit better number. I think I ended up getting him in like 28-1 or something like that, and Henley was 25 or 22. So I went with a little bit better number. But yeah, I went with Henley in one and done as well. So it looks like he's going to be a popular play.
Oh yeah, he should be.
How are you going about your strategy? Did you hear on our podcast Tambo's recommendation if you had 5 teams?
No, what was it?
I like the idea.
All right, let me hear it.
So if you have 5 teams in one and done, like in Mayo's league, okay, you do what you did, where you use the same golfer on all of them for like the first half of the year, and make sure you get your guy to a good point. Like play the good plays, don't go crazy, don't go stupid outlier flyer crazy picks. You know what I'm saying?
Like ripping Lee Hodges at the Amex.
Yeah. Play like a Henley this week. Play like a Max Homa at Riv or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about the chalk. And then get to about halfway to the season and then start going different ways with your 5 teams to see if you can't pick and choose the right one-on-one, more heavily and doing it that way. I sort of like that idea. I only have one and done. It's in Mayo's league, and I picked Henley as well.
It's like, for me, one and done, like with the amount of golf content, like the amount of that effort we put into golf, it's like we should both be confident in our ability to cash in it. So I
don't know, man. It's not that fucking easy. I don't know. I've played 2 years. I've cast 1 year.
But my thing is, I wouldn't want to like cash one team and like not cash another. Like I think if I just go one team and you play the same in every single one, it's like all of these can cash. Like all of these
but
can cash versus like
yeah, you can cash, but don't you want the 50K?
yeah, but like we're not gonna win the one and done. Like I'm not doing that. Like
I don't know.
I'm probably
That's why I like that strategy that Tambo had. If you had 5 teams,
I don't know.
I think it makes sense.
Like I might do like 3 the same and then like 2 like contrarian, like 2 like forgotten elite, like someone I would never pick, like someone like I genuinely would never pick and one and done, and just see how it does. Like I can sacrifice 1 entry, like I'll be okay. Like it's all good. But the thing about like the elevated events, it's like usually it's like you're saving guys for majors, but now like the fucking Travelers and RBC like pay more than the majors, so it's like what do you even save people for? But I think a very popular, what makes the most sense is you have like everyone is going to play Cam at the Masters and everyone's going to play DJ at one of the other 3 because like there's literally no other time to use them. So like just deploy them in the majors. But like I was asking, like, would you rather use Willie Z at the Farmers, which isn't even an elevated event, or like Farmers or FedEx St. Jude, or use him at like the US Open or PGA? Like, I think he's going to win a major, but like, do you play him in an event that plays more, even though it's just
where maybe he'll make like 1.8 million winning that event, but he comes second at a major or a designated event, and he ends up making 2.2 or something like that, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Like it's just have like usually you play your elite golfers at the majors, but like this year it's like it's not, you don't really like, you could just play him at RBC and like other spots. So it's interesting. I'm going Henley this week. Maybe I'll play like Sanjay in like my contrarian one. Maybe I think that's a good strategy. I will take that. I think I'm going to do that. But kind of moving down the board a little bit. A guy I'm betting this week, 55-1. You can get that currently. I'm betting Andrew Putnam. Again, like the guy is playing some really spectacular golf, and he had a really good swing season. I mean, he easily could have won the Zozo Championship, and he was second at this event in 2019. So he has the experience here, and he's playing really good golf. And if you just sort by total strokes gained over the past 50 rounds, Andrew Putnam's like 4th. Like you wouldn't really expect that from a guy 50-1, but he's just doing something right now. And I just think with the way he's been playing, fit that St. Jude a while ago, but he played a lot in the fall swing, and he's 55-1, and he's played well here before. And I'm just down to take a little bit of a flyer on Andrew Putnam at 55-1 this week. I'll definitely be playing him in DFS this week, but I love Putnam.
Yeah, if you're looking in that range, I can't bet anybody from outside from after I bet Tom, Harmon, and Connors. I don't have any room for anything in the middle, so I didn't bet anything from here to like 90-1. But if I did, I mean, one guy, the short course specialist, I got to give this guy credit. I saw it on Twitter today. Matt Miller at Matty Mills 85 with a Z. Yeah, Mills with a Z. I know him, yep. He was talking about Keith Mitchell. 2022 finishes on courses under 7,200 yards. 7th. 12th, 9th, 1 missed cut at the Wells Fargo. But that's a tough-ass course. Canadian Open, 7th. Travelers, 6th. Wyndham, 54th. So like 5 top 12 finishes in short courses.
And you wouldn't think about that with Keith Mitchell.
Because he's a long off the tee, right?
Yeah.
You wouldn't think about that, but I mean that's something that sneaky. I mean, I don't love his number of 40-1 right now. I almost like him better as a DFS play if he's going to be under owned. But that's somebody that you could think of, and I like KH Lee. I think the Koreans are going to have a really strong year. I think they're going to have a really strong event this week. KH Lee's game has been steadily improving the last 3 years. And so I'm a fan of him this week. I mean, if you look at some of his numbers, well above average on basically every stat I'm looking for this week. The wedge play well above average. Very, very good putter. More than enough birdies, a better game. Top 20 in strokes gained tee to green, all in the last 50 rounds. I like him at 40-1.
A lot of sharp people I know, a lot of my close betting friends love KH Lee this week. So it's a good play. I can't play it. I can't endorse it. I won't victory lap it. But a lot of my smart friends love KH this week. So I think it's worth some of your investment this week. I think KH is a good play. And I think talking about like on a bomber narrative with Keith Mitchell, like I think a lot of people are betting Cam Davis this week. He's a popular outright selection. A lot of people are betting him at 45-1. He's been playing some great golf, and he, again, you wouldn't think of it, he plays well on shorter courses sometimes. And he had that third place finish at the RBC earlier this year.
Yeah, he's had good finishes at tight courses. You are right.
Yeah. So I think Cam Davis is a good play. Again, can't get there, can't victory lap it or anything. But another guy you're betting might go, no, not back-to-back. It would not be back-to-back because he played TOC. But you like Svenny this week? You like Adam Svensson, the Canadian?
Yes. 7th last year. Got his win at the RSM, which is a comp course, in the final event of the fall. Just looking at how he's done, I mean, his iron game is definitely a strength, but he's also been putting really, really well. He's inside the top 25 in strokes gained approach and strokes gained putting in the last 25 rounds. That's a dual combo. You don't see that often, and sometimes you just got to ride it out until, until the mule dies. And that's probably what I'm going to do with Svensson, because he hurt me last week. He was one of my cash game cornerstones. I can get that to rust, and being a first timer, he got that action in. He's coming in. He looks good to me with a strong finish last year, 90-1. I got him right when Svensson. I
said boom.
Boom. I said who? Right when the odds dropped on Monday morning. It was my first click.
So are you in a, I know you live in like DC. Are you in a legal state?
Yeah.
Legal state. You're good.
Virginia, legal everything. Okay. It's great.
Awesome.
Like the joint I just smoked before the show, 100% legal.
I love it. No, I didn't, because like if you're betting golf and you're like not in a legal state, like it's tough. Like you're just texting everybody to like it makes your life a lot more difficult.
I use the one with the B, the one that starts with a B.
Why can't you say it?
I don't know. I don't even know if you had sponsors or not.
No, I have no sponsors, bro. But people on Twitter like write like B like star and like they can't say it. Is there like something? I
have no idea. I have no idea about that.
But yeah, all good. I'm betting Hayden Buckley this week. Again, just kind of like a flyer. I think he's good. I think he's talented. I can really only bet long shots. So yeah, Hayden Buckley, he's good. I mean, he's fine. Like he can get the job done. I don't, have massive reasoning behind it, but he's like 100-1. 20th at Shriners, played well in the fall swing. Let me see. Has he played this event before? 12th last year. Hayden Buckley, like, give it to me, 100-1. Good play. I believe I'll be playing him in DFS this week. You're getting 80-1 on him right now. I really think that's fine. And I'm betting Willie G. Willie G, first round leader. Bet him every week. Willie G, when someone emerges like JJ Spawn and they always seem to be at the top of the leaderboard. I think Will Gordon had not one, but two first round leaders in the fall swing. You bet him first round leader. I love first round leader bets.
I think he's had some spike rounds here in the past. That guy who does the first round leader, I forget what his Twitter name is, but it's a newer
I follow
account.
That account.
Yeah, really, really good info. I think he had a couple of spike rounds here in the past on that Twitter account. Sorry, I don't remember if you're watching what the name of it was, but I mean, the birdie maker, right?
Yeah, and he could just go low for one round. And I love Will G first round leader. I bet him outright at 100-1. 2 miscuts here. That's fine. That's okay. He's a better golfer now. But again, third at Mayakoba, nice little comp course. I believe he was first round leader there. Let me see. Yep, he was solo first round leader at Mayakoba. I don't know what more you could want. Will Gordon, first round leader. That is just a absolute slam dunk play. Also, Russell Henley, first round leader. Got to play that. I believe anytime you play Russ on these courses, you bet him first round leader and you kind of wait on the outright. Like you don't bet the outright, you bet the first round leader because he always seems to do it round one. So yeah, I like Russell Henley and I like Will Gordon for a first round leader play this week. I will be all over those two. The last guy you're betting, another long shot, Patton Kizzire, past champ here.
Yeah,
Is
it's
Patton your guy?
pure course history number, like 130 to 1. You can get right now. You can also get Ben Griffin at 130 to 1. I know he's sort of a stat darling this week that a lot of people like on DraftKings. You can get both those guys at 130 to 1 right now. Kizzire, I'm just going based on, his history here. He plays this course well every year. No matter, hold on, the sneeze. It doesn't matter. His form doesn't matter. The guy just plays well. I'll throw a flyer on him. Maybe a top 10 bet would be better, or a top 20 bet would be better, but I'm cheap and I want to win all the money.
You playing him in DFS this week?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I like a lot of other guys down there in DFS. I like Ben Martin.
Ben Martin's your guy? What do you like about Ben Martin?
Well, I mean, the thing about him is he makes a lot of cuts. I think he's made 7 of his last 8 at Sony. I think he's made 9 of his last 13 on tour.
Wow.
And then you look at his wedge game, which is his strength. He's actually top 15 in this field in proximity from 125 to 150 in the last 50 rounds. So, like I said, you're going to be hitting that wedge all day, and that's his strength. And the guy just makes cuts, and you can get him at $6,500 on DraftKings.
Boom. Put him in your lineup. So do you know anything about this guy, Tyga?
I don't know nothing about him.
There's a few random Asians in this field this week. Like
Sony Open does that with the sponsor. They get some Japanese players in here. I mean, Nakajima. What was the guy's name? Todd Fukuwawa. I'm sorry if I'm fucking up names right there, but Todd Fukujima maybe was his name. He was like 16 years old, made the cut here. They had like Michelle Wee play here for like 5 years straight, 4 years straight. So they do some wild shit at this event when it comes to.
There's going to be some random Asian, not Tom or Sanjay, in the mix this week.
Hey, if it's going to be that, it's going to be S.H. Kim.
I like S.H. Kim. He's good.
I like him.
And he played well at the Shriners.
Yeah, putting in short game, sort of his thing. Yeah, if the wind blows,
he's on my fantasy team. He's on my fantasy team. He's gonna. Nice. No, he's probably on my other one. No,
he's on. I have him on our fantasy team.
Yeah, so in my other league,
in our league,
yeah. No, he was good at Shriners. Boom, done. DFS play, good at Shriners. Boom, that's it. All you need.
Yeah.
So yeah, Sony Open, we're winning on Tom. It's not like there's not really anything else to debate. Tom is winning this week. I already got paid out. It's over. They shouldn't even show up. I'm really confident Tom gets it done this week.
I just want to win because last week hurt so badly. I need to be like Colin Morikawa and win quickly so I can recover.
Yeah. We got bills to pay, man. We got things to do. There's nothing better than hitting outright and just having a nice influx of cash into your wallet. And you get to post a ticket. It's just great. It's just truly. There's nothing better than winning an outright. And that I talked about it last week. It makes betting on other sports suck because nothing compares to hitting an outright.
Oh, yeah, because, you're winning in 60 to 1 sometimes. You're winning. I had Spawn last year, 110 to 1. You're winning shit like that. You're not getting no odds.
You're not grinding over minus 110 bets.
Exactly.
It's tough. But I'm glad that we're going to hit a winner this week. So I tweeted out before about the Chipotle vinaigrette.
Yeah, it's delicious, man. So you're talking about the red one, the red vinegar. Oh my god, it's delicious.
I do you have any Qdobas by you?
No, I do not. I'm a Chipotle guy.
Because
I got one in my office building.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, I would get that every day. I love Qdoba. I love Qdoba. It's amazing. I've gotten it a lot. I've been adamant against Chipotle. Qdoba's better. Qdoba's been my spot. And my friend a couple weeks ago, he was visiting, and between us, the closest place was Chipotle. We got Chipotle, and I was like, yeah, it was pretty good. Chipotle is good. It always hits a spot. And then everyone on TikTok is talking about this vinaigrette. You mix the vinaigrette with the sour cream. And I'm like, all right, how good could it actually be? It's just a vinaigrette.
Oh, it's delicious.
So I'm leaving work today. I'm getting Chipotle. I got to Qdoba way too much. I'm like, and I feel weird asking for it, but I see it like in the fridge. There's like massive amounts of vinaigrette. So I'm like, whatever. Can I get the vinaigrette? Of course. I get home, just sprinkle it on my Chipotle, and I'm like, oh my God. It's amazing. It's so good.
Yeah.
Like
so I normally get salad bowls. So I like
Okay.
I don't I try to avoid the too many carbs. I'm getting too fat. So on a
So
little
no
bit of a diet.
rice?
No rice. It's
Okay.
just lettuce, and then start with the vegetables, and then the protein, and then of course I get more lettuce on top at the end. You know how the Chipotle line goes.
Yeah.
And so I ask for that dressing. That dressing, if you haven't tried it, it's almost like a light Russian dressing with a hint of like spice with a little bit of olive oil is what it feels like to me.
No, it's like it tastes like a very like light hot sauce, but it has like a very like distinct flavor. Like I just
little bit of sweetness.
It's so good. Like I
little
ate
bit
like,
of sweetness.
I ate like half the bowl. I'm like pumped to eat the rest of it after this pod. Like I'm just like I've been thinking about it the whole time. So I might like I'm a Qdoba guy through and through. And I've heard they have vinaigrette, so I have to try their vinaigrette before I, make any decisions. But I might have just changed over to a Chipotle guy purely based off this vinaigrette.
Have you ever been to like an old school like tiki restaurant or like a Chinese restaurant that gives you like the house salad with their house dressing? And it's like this sesame, orange, ginger house dressing.
I know that orange. I know that orange salad dressing. Like I know it.
I'm just saying we're talking about salad dressings. That I want bottled and sold in stores.
Yeah,
that's the dressing that I want.
No, that's good. I like that orange dressing.
Yeah.
That's good. I got a sushi spot by my place. I love. And they have that dressing, and it always slaps. Always slaps.
It's the best.
But yeah, those like it's kind of a big deal. Like I've always thought of myself as a Qdoba guy, but man, it just the sauce. Like, and I'm not like I'm a foodie. I love food. I love to eat. Like, if you've ever had Chipotle, like just try the fucking vinaigrette. Like it's almost like try it like this week. Like it's like that pressing of an issue.
So I worked in the restaurant biz for like 20 years, and the last 10 years was fine dining, like white tablecloth shit. And so we would our work would actually, if we went to another like fine dining restaurant and ate, we could bring the receipt and minus the alcohol, they would recoup us, and it would be like a training exercise. So I got to eat. I consider myself a foodie as well. My boss, anytime I come up with the menu for the Christmas parties at work. I pick the restaurant, I pick the menu, I do all that, and so yeah, I'm a big foodie myself. What's the all right? Since we're just bullshitting here, I'm a little bit stoned. Best meal you've ever had?
Like I don't like. It's kind of hard to say. Like I don't know. I really like a really really good like pasta, like a nice like. Okay. Penne with like some crumbled sausage, and like that is like if there's like one thing I can have like just whenever, like my mind immediately goes to like a really high quality pasta, vodka sauce, some sausage, some onions. Like that is kind of my flavor palette that I'm going for.
I can see that. You see, are you Italian?
No.
Okay.
But Kenny, you brought it up, and I always see your tweets. I don't know if you're allowed to disclose it. What is your job? Like what do you do? Because like you always have crazy work stories, and like I'm just kind of like jealous of your job a little bit.
I'm the director of estimating for a construction company. But the company was founded by like one of my really really good friends. And so if you know me well enough, if you're friends with me, we tend to get rowdy. And so it's a fun job. I work with my friend. I mean, he's the boss now.
So you're just estimating like how much a construction project is going to cost?
Yeah, that's it.
Seems pretty good, dude.
I mean, it's a little bit more than that. I mean, you have to be able to read plans. You have to be able to talk to people, because a lot of times you're working with other vendors who do a specific trade, and then you know, and that's how you get the numbers you get. Basically, I mean, you have something in your mind already going into the job, but you know, it comes down to the vendors giving you the numbers you expect.
So is the vendor doing the project and then they're coming to you and asking like estimates on how much you think it will cost, or you
No.
do
So
it?
a client would come to us. They want to rebuild their office.
Okay.
Okay. They want to redo their office. And so they get an architect to come up with a set of plans. All right. And the plans, you know, have different trades that you need to get done, like drywall people, steel, HVAC, electrical, plumbing. And so, you know, you read the plans, you scope the work, you figure out what the work for each trade's going to be, and you call people in that trade and be like, yo, bid on this project for me. And so I call like 3 or 4 people, electricians, and all those 4 guys, they all 4 give me a number on the due date. And then I got to make sure that their scope of work is correct. And then we usually pick the lowest price.
Yep.
So they're competing while we're competing, you know, so that's how that goes. But the thing is, like, I've only done it for 6 months and I've had 0 training because we don't train people in our job because we all don't know what we're doing. That's what happens at a startup company, basically. But
you just got a government contract.
We're doing well. I don't know how we're doing it. Honestly, I have no clue. Because
so the government contract, like, it's just like did the government like contract you to?
No. We knew that they had a job, and so we've been on the job.
You've been on the job. Okay.
We've been on the job. I mean, we got all of our licenses and stuff.
You got certain licenses.
And then we won the job. Yeah.
So you got money now. Like, they got an influx of money coming.
Yeah, a little bit. Here's the thing. My friend, my boss, he's the gift of gab. So a lot of our work came from just him yapping and being like, yo, give us work. It usually doesn't work like that. I can tell you.
So how big is your company? How many people?
10 people right now. We started 3 years ago. We're at 10 people. And then, you know, I think the first year we made like $2 million. 2020, I think 2021, we made like 6 million. Last year we made 13 million. And so every year, hopefully, we just keep growing. So it's okay, I guess.
So ask your boss if you guys have E&O insurance, if you have errors and omissions insurance.
Is that what you do?
Because I do underwriting for that. Like,
okay.
We underwrite like consultants, and like it seems like you probably have E&O insurance. Like, so that's kind of like what I do. Is that like
I know we have a whole shit ton of different types of insurance because that's what we need as a company.
But yeah, so that that's kind of like what I do. Like, I would like get a submission and it's like, oh, this is a consultant. And they like consult, like, whatever, it doesn't matter. Like, they're a land surveyor. Like, they're providing work for other people. You have to have insurance in case you get sued, in case you fuck up. Like, that's what I do. But it seems like it sounds like
we both sitting on a desk on our ass basically all day. Which sucks for me because for 20 years of my life I was a server or a bartender. I was running around getting 10,000 steps all the time, you know, weighed 200 pounds forever. And then I start this job and I'm at like 250 in 3 years. It's tough. It's rough.
If you work a 9 to 5, like, it's shit. Like, I read somewhere, like, if you sit for 8 hours a day, you have to like walk for like 1 hour to like burn that off. Like, what the fuck? There's no time. Like, who has the time? Like, you just have an hour after work to just it's rigged against us. It's tough. It's sitting at a desk all day. I might need to get one of those standing desks. I would.
Yeah, we have them. I don't use them because I'm too fucking lazy and I don't want to stand up.
I don't know how you could like get work done like walking. You gotta like focus on 2 things at once. So that's why I'm out personally on the walking desk. But great TIB. I'm excited for Sony Open week. Hopefully we'll hit a winner. We will, and we'll make that column money back. So Kenny, I appreciate you coming on. It was a fun pod, and hopefully we'll have you on again. It was a good time.
Yeah, I'm down anytime, brother. That was fun.
All right. I'll see you next week for the Amex. We will be back.